Welcome to CAM Look, your daily dose of the Cincinnati Art Museum. Each weekday, a staff member or volunteer will be sharing with you an object from the museum's permanent collection and giving you an opportunity to think about that object. Please check back at 10 a.m. each day for a new work and a new conversation. My name is Kristin Spangenberg, and I'm Curator of Prints. I'm going to talk to you about our exhibition, which just opened, Frank Duveneck, American Master. In this exhibition, there are a number of his prints. Duveneck came to his mature phase at the time of the etching revival. Etching is a process that involves covering a metal plate with a protective coating, drawing through that protective coating, subjecting the image which you have created to acid, and that area which is bitten away by the acid holds the ink. And when you ink the plate, put a piece of paper on top and print it under pressure, you get the image which is created, and it's a mirror image of what you were looking at. Now, Frank Duveneck was already a mature painter, but it was only in 1878 or 79 that he actually experimented with etching. And it was a time when artists were looking at etching as a creative medium rather than a reproductive medium. So Duveneck followed a path to Florence and then to Venice. He went to Venice in the spring of 1880. Previously, James McNeill Whistler had arrived in Venice at the fall of 1879, and the two men met, and Duveneck had been accompanied by his students, who were referred to as the Duveneck boys. They all experimented with printmaking, and the first efforts that Duveneck made were rather tentative, but within the year, he was making very mature prints. In fact, 3 of his prints were submitted to an exhibition in London through the Society of Painter Etchers, and Whistler's brother-in-law thought that they were Whistler's submitted under a pseudonym. And indeed, that discovery, of course, outraged Whistler and threw Duveneck into the spotlight. His print was the Riva degli Schiavoni, number 2. And in the exhibition, we have a first state, which you have been looking at. And now let's look at the second state. So, in the first state, he only treated the background buildings, the ships in the bay, and a few of the people. In the second state, he worked further on the figures, and in the final state, he completed the figures and added his signature and the date in the lower left. And that is this print, along with 2 others, that created such a uproar that Whistler wrote The Gentle Art of Making Enemies. And you will have an opportunity in the exhibition, which runs through March, to see the first state, the second state, the third and final state, the metal plate, as well as Duveneck's tools. And it will really give you an excellent perspective of how Duveneck worked on his composition, where he did the structural elements first and then added all those interesting people in the foreground.